Well, hello, everybody. How are you? I hope people can hear me. I think people can hear me. You can put in the chat whether you can hear me or not. That would be great. I think everybody can hear me because I can see the greens and the yellows. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Excellent. Thank you, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a special situation today. As you guys, those of you who have been around us for a few years know that once or twice a year for the last few years, we've had the really cool privilege of being able to talk to actual Major League Baseball players as part of our partnership with Major League Baseball and with the Players Association and our amazing partners. And that continues today because I had the chance yesterday to sit down and talk with Bryson Stott from the Philadelphia Phillies. Um, and you're going to see that today. And for those of you who are watching this live and getting your drops, awesome. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube after the fact, awesome. And some of you might be listening to this on the Out of the Park Now podcast, the audio version. So awesome. We try our best to talk to you guys in as much as we can in as many places as we can. And things like today, when we get to talk to actual ball players, are just a really fun extension of that. And when I get the chance to talk to an actual Major League Baseball player, I try to just basically talk to him and ask him basically what is it like to be a Major League Baseball player, because obviously so few people actually get to experience that. I don't get into out of the park baseball stuff. I don't get into video game stuff. I just love to talk to them about what it's like. And I also love to share some of my experiences as a fan with them. And with Bryson, who's been part of the Philadelphia Phillies postseason runs in 22, 23, and 24, I've been, blessed and lucky enough to actually be in person at some of those games. And so it was sort of fun for me to share my experience with him, watching him play. And so we talk about a little bit about that. And it's just a great time. It's just a really, really good time. And I you'll see, like, you never know when you're talking to a ball player, right? Like what you're going to get. Are you going to get somebody who's, interested in talking? Are you get somebody who's sort of quiet, reserved? You're going to get somebody who's, loud and gregarious. You're going to get somebody who's going to give you one word answers, or someone who's going to talk. Bryson is awesome, and you're gonna see it. I cannot thank him enough. These guys don't have to do this. You know what I mean? They don't have to sit down and have some guy like me asking them questions. Hey, what's it like to be a major league ball player? Although I will say, as an aside, one of my least favorite things in the world is when a reporter walks up to a player and says, "What was going through your mind when you hit that home run, or threw that pass, or caught that touchdown, or scored that goal?" I'm always thinking, like, that's not a question, right? What was going through your mind? I know what was going through the player's mind. I hope I make this shot, or I hope I hit this ball, or I hope this guy catches this pass I'm throwing. So I purposely don't ask questions like that. So I at least, even though I'm not a journalist, will never consider myself a journalist, will never claim to be a journalist, I'm just a baseball fan. I get a kick out of not asking those kind of questions. So, yeah, exactly. You're right, Doctor Dynastic. Talk about that home run you hit. Well, I was at the plate, and he threw the pitch, and I swung it, and I hit it. I mean, come up with something better, people. You're getting paid a lot of money to interview athletes. Come up with some real questions. But anyway, um, so I got to talk to him. You guys will see it. It was a lot of fun. He's a great sport. He's a great interview. He's a great guy. And so, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. And so I want to thank him. I also want to thank Scott Boris. Scott Boris represents Bryson, and Scott is an amazing person to work with. I work with a lot of agents these days, just on different things that we do. And Scott Boris and his whole team have been fantastic to me for years. So I got to make sure I thank him, because he is responsible as well for making this happen today. So thank you, Mr. Boris. Appreciate it. So I think that is going to be it between me and, well, actually, no, I'm just going to say, I guess, a couple things real quick. Number one, thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you for being part of the best community in gaming. We appreciate it. Thank you to all our streamer affiliates. We appreciate you guys as well so much. Thank you to everyone who's playing out of the park baseball every day. We have more people playing today than at any time during the entire life cycle of the game. It's amazing. More people right now playing out of the park baseball than when it came out in March. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. So thank you. Welcome. We hope you are part of this for a long time. I think you will be. All right. I think that is it. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm not sure if you guys are aware or not. I'm not a professional at this, so I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm supposed to raid Dr. Dynastic after this. I don't even know how to do that. I'm going to try. I'm going to fail, but I'm going to try. So with that, I think moving forward, you're going to hear the interview with me and Bryson. So let me give this a shot. So, hi everybody. I am really excited because today we are very proud to welcome the starting second baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies, Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
This is great. So, I have so many questions for you. But I want to start with right now, as we are recording this in very late October 2024. You have come off the third straight season with the Phillies making a postseason run. I mean, you're talking 2022 World Series, 2023 NLCS, 2024, multiple playoff games. Where are you? Like, what are you doing right now? Are you in recovery or are you training? Are you like what are you doing these days, as you sort of, try to wind down from the third straight really significant run with the Phillies?
Yeah. I mean, as a person, I'm just home and we're packing up the house and um, making a move and um,
Oh, oof,
gonna gonna
stressful.
try something new. Yeah. Gonna move and try something new. And as a baseball player, got home, or at least I've been home since I've been a major leaguer, which is cool and bad for me. We've had some deep runs and
Hmm.
some fun runs, and this one ended a little sooner than um, we all wanted it to, and it's kind of weird having this much time. It's something I'm not used to, and I don't think the Phillies as a whole are used to this after the last couple of years. But yeah, I got home, let my body kind of relax for a second, let my arm kind of get back to where I needed, and I didn't feel too terrible when I got home. Just kind of getting used to how long the seasons are, how long they get going in the playoffs, and um, so I was able to train for that last off season and uh, felt a lot better than the first couple times, and took probably week and a half, 2 weeks off, and back to working out. Not hitting yet, but just working out. Didn't want to kind of go back to square one and get all sore and that stuff again. So got back with my trainer and kind of just moving around, doing some lifts and things like that I normally do, but obviously not as much as normal. Just going 3 times a week right now instead of four, and um, just didn't want to, like I said, go back to square one. So I'm moving again. So
You mentioned that, and that's something that I'm curious about. Somebody like me, and a fan of the game, I don't think we have any way to understand what the human body feels like after playing 175, 180 Major League Baseball games over the course of 6, 7 months. Like, you hear ball players say, I think I was watching one of the postseason shows after one of the games, and it was Big Poppy and it was A Rod and Jeter, and they were all saying basically at this point of the season, everybody's injured, everybody's hurting. But I don't think a fan can sort of appreciate what that means. Like, how do you feel? Like, I would imagine you're mentally you're amped up when you're in the postseason, but physically when you've been playing that many games, like how hurt are you? Like, I know everyone's got bumps and bruises, but what is there a way to describe what you're like physically? After a traditional season, I don't mean coming off an injury, but after a typical season, like how does your body feel when you're getting into the postseason?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, everything hurts.
Man,
It's, I mean, we have the longest season of professional sports and
right,
um, the most games I think, by far. And um, I mean, every game, every pitch, every inning, they all matter. And um, I mean, you don't know what play or what pitch or what game is going to cost you a postseason spot, cost you a division title, or anything like that. So every game, every pitch is important. So you're locked in every second of the day and um, standing up a lot, moving around, running around, and I mean, we're human. We get tired. It doesn't matter how much you work out, how much you try to prepare yourself. It's
right,
just natural. You kind of get tired, but I mean, once you kind of start feeling the postseason coming and things like that, you get a whole new jolt of energy, and um, then the game and the adrenaline wear off, and then you're back to being sore and tired, and
right.
um, you got 15 hours to kind of settle down and get ready to do it again. And I mean, it's like I said, we're baseball players. It's adrenaline. It's the playoffs. Every stadium's packed. Every stadium's loud, and you forget what's hurting. You forget that you're tired. You're so excited and happy to be back in the playoffs and get to experience that. So, um, I mean, I think everything. You don't feel tired. You don't do anything, but obviously you are. But yeah, once it starts and the playoffs are here, it's you get a whole new jolt and you're just ready to go. So
Now, I want to get back to this in a little bit because for a player with your service time, you've got a significant amount of postseason experience already. So I want to tap into you for that. But before we get there, I want to sort of go way back if we could. So I believe that you're from Las Vegas. You grew up there. I know you went to college at UNLV. When did you know that you wanted to be a professional ball player? And when did you know that you were going to be a professional ball player? Because I tell you, I wanted to be a pro ball player when I was a little kid, but I found out pretty quickly that I wasn't going to be a pro ball player. So, like, those are two different questions. When did you, like, basically fall in love with the game and say, this is something I want to do? And when did you sort of realize that, oh, I could actually make it in this sport?
yeah, my mom has a poem that I wrote her for um, Mother's Day, and it was obviously the poem for Mother's Day, and then our other assignment for the Mother's Day kind of poem when I was in elementary school was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? What this and that, and all those kind of when you're doing it, you're like, oh, I'm never going to be this. I'm just going to jot this down. And um, I always said that I wanted to be Derek Jeter and play in the MLB, and that I never wanted to work and things like that. And um, like you said, I mean, I feel like every little kid playing little league is shooting for that, and
Sure.
you want them to shoot for that. You need to have big goals. You want to have big goals because if you don't, then you're not going to really care or try to reach those goals. And um, for as long as I could remember, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play quarterback in the NFL. I wanted to play shortstop in the major leagues, and um, just kind of had all these big goals that I never thought in a million years were possible. And I would play those sports. I played soccer, basketball, football, baseball. I did it all, and um, then I kind of started playing more and more baseball, and um, played on a really good 12U team, and then I would guest play in my teenage years, and um, go to Tennessee and Florida and do all that stuff and guest play. And um, obviously, I thought I was really good. I was always the smallest kid on the team, and
Mm.
um, I was like, "Am I ever going to grow? I'm the same age as these kids, and I'm 6 inches shorter, and all that." So I got to high school, um, 5 foot, 100 pounds, and I was like, I can't play shortstop. I can't throw the ball across the infield. So went over to second base my freshman year, and then I hit a growth spurt in high school and got to 5'6", and then I went over to shortstop for my first year there as a sophomore, and I kept growing and getting stronger. And then my junior summer is when I really started the scout ball stuff and going to play those tournaments with college coaches and professional scouts and things like that. And it just made me love it even more. And um, I finally caught up growth wise with everybody, and um, had some big school offers and things like that. And I thought I wanted to leave. Said I'm leaving. I don't want to go to UNLV. I don't want to be home. I want to go to the LSU's and the Oregons and things like that. And um, then as I got older and um, talking to my scout ball coaches and parents and things like that, I thought it was really cool that I had the opportunity to go to UNLV and let them watch me every weekend and let my friends and things like that, just because my ultimate goal was to play in the major leagues. And um, I knew once if I got drafted, it was they weren't going to be able to do that whenever they pleased. It was going to kind of have to take some planning and some time off work for them and things like that. So stayed home. Then I went to the Northwoods League after my freshman year, and that's when I was like, okay, I think I could do this. I'm have one of the highest averages in this league with kids from Florida and the SEC and all those big schools. And I was like, I'm playing with them. I'm playing better than some of them. And um, it was probably around then that I was like, all right, I could do this. I want to do this. And um, after that summer in the Northwoods League, it was all baseball and um, all laser focused on becoming a pro. So
And what was your sort of bridge, because you got to the Phillies major league club in 2022, and again we'll talk a little bit more on that in a minute, but you went to NLV, then you were in the minors. Like what was your bridge during that time? And also, like, were there one or two individuals, and I don't mean your family or your friends, but like, instructionally or coaching or related to it, were there one or two people who really helped you, guide you, or gave you the right tools or advice to put you on the path? Because there's a lot of players who are really good in college and who are really good in the minor leagues who don't hit 40 plus home runs in their first 3 years in the major leagues and win pennants and start for teams loaded with all-stars. So like what were some of the key moments during that, and who are one of the one or two key people who sort of helped? I mean, you did it yourself, but you had to have some key people along the way to put you in the position to make it on the major league squad.
yeah, so after the draft, I went and um, played a couple games in short season, and then um, went to instructs and the strength camps and all that my first year, and met some of the coordinators and coaches and things like that, and Marty Malloy, um, who's one of my all-time favorite coaches slash um, coordinators. He was really big for me, and Tyler Henson was my double A hitting coach, and he was also probably one of the he's one of my all-time favorites as well. Just I mean, it takes everybody. I respected everybody, and everybody's helped out, but those two are two of the bigger ones that kind of just let me be myself. And they were like, "We're not gonna change how you field a ground ball. We're not gonna mess with your swing until it doesn't work. We're not gonna do anything like that." So um, those two were big, and Then the COVID season kind of wiped everything out. I wasn't very happy with that. Just being a college kid, I know how age works in baseball, and um, it was like, sweet, I got drafted at 21. I want to make it to the big leagues by end of my 22-year-old year, the 23 year, and um, I was like, well, this doesn't do much for me other than make me a year older. So um, finally got to get out there in 21 and um, kind of hit every level. Started in high A for a couple weeks, and then I went to double A for a while, and then finished in triple A. And I mean, just talking to Marty and Henson, they knew my frustrations with the COVID stuff. Obviously, it's not in their control. It's not my control. It
Right.
was something bigger than baseball, and
Hmm.
um, it happened, and it sucks that we were in that, and um, just trying to keep everyone healthy and safe was obviously the biggest thing. But once we got through it, once everything kind of settled down and it got taken care of, you just naturally as a human, you're like, oh man, that was a year of this, that was a year of college, that was a year of high school, that was like just little things like that. And um, they told me just to keep going, and had a really good 21 in the minor leagues, and um, then went to the fall league, and Dombrowski and Topper and a bunch of them came down and um, watched me for a couple games, and met up with them after, and they just flat out said, we don't want you to come to spring training to have fun and be around the big leaguers. We want you to make the team and break with us. And pretty much it's up to me if I'm able to do that. And um, I thought that was really cool because you always hear, oh, you have a chance, you have this, like, but it's just kind of just talk.
Hmm.
But hearing it straight from them in Arizona was big for me, and um, went home after the fall league and got straight to work, and um, went from there. So
And so we're now heading into the in our timeline as we're talking, we're heading into the 2022 season, which ended pretty spectacularly for the Phillies and the entire city of Philadelphia and the region. And we'll get to that in a bit because you were a major contributor. But spring training in 2022, you now have the expectations, as you say, they've been delivered to you. You know, basically, we want you on the team. And if you want to be on the team, you'll be on the team if you make it happen. This Phillies team in 2022 and to this day, right? This is a team of big personalities. You know, this is a team of several future Hall of Famers, right? You've got obviously Bryce Harper, who also is a Las Vegas guy. I don't know if you had a relationship with him prior to joining or not, you know, but you've got JT Real Muto, you've got Wheeler, right? And I think that was his first year as a free agent. So coming in, you know, big money, big free agent. You've got Schwarber, you've got giant personalities, Hall of Fame, you know, potential all stars, and you're walking into this situation and you've got this pressure on yourself. That's a whole lot that you've got to navigate both to make the team and then to find your space. Like, I don't know how you answer this question, but how do you navigate that kind of a situation, you know, with all those people and then with your own pressures that you got put on yourself to make this team?
yeah, well, for Bryce and the Harper family, his older sister, she cheered for my mom when she was in high school. So we've known them since I was 4 or 5 years old, and um, I mean, obviously, I didn't know much. It was always Bryce Harper is on my brother's team. He is our family friend. We'd see them at barbecues and things like that. So he was never the, oh my gosh, it's Bryce Harper. It was just our friend. And
Okay.
um, obviously, as I've gotten older, I've kind of realized who he actually is, and the superstar that he is. But um, I mean, obviously, having him there and in the same organization and um, things like that was just big for me, to have someone that I feel comfortable around and um, could be myself around and things like that, because him and his dad would help me with recruiting, and I would hit with his dad and things like that, kind of going through high school and college, and um, just having them there to kind of help was huge. And then, um, I mean, to not a lot of people would say it, but to be able to fall to the Phillies at 14 was like a blessing in disguise for me. All I heard was the Giants and the Reds and things like that, leading up to the draft. And everyone always tells you it's not who you talk to the most. It's going to be a team that you talk to once. And um, it happened that way. It wasn't the two that I talked to the most. It was the Phillies at 14. And um, Bryce just signed with them in that year. And
Right.
um, so I was like, oh, this is great. This is going to be awesome. I'm comfortable. I have a person that I'll be able to talk to and see. And then you kind of get there and you're like, well, you don't really see them when you're in the minor leagues. You're there in the big leagues. So going into 22, I lived with him in spring training, and um, he just kind of was there and being a mentor, and um, just telling me there's no pressure. Just go out and play how you play, and it's all going to take care of itself. And at the time, um, Didi was the shortstop and a big free agent sign at the time. And um, I'm going in, I'm like, well, where am I going to play? I'm a shortstop as well. And there's a guy here that has a long track record. He's a veteran. He's making a lot of money. Um, and then once I was like, you know what? I was always told if you hit, you're going to play. So went to spring training. I'm a lot of people don't know, but I'm really quiet until I get to know you and kind of trust our friendship and things like that. I'm kind of like I don't talk much. So I went to the clubhouse. I knew a couple of them, and the way the clubhouse is set up, it's a square pretty much, and in one side you have the big league team, and it's usually number order. So when you're at spring training invite, you're number 73, you're number 84. So you're on the complete opposite side. And um, yeah, I would just stay out of the way. Do my cage stuff and all that super early. And um, that was a big thing for me, was is not be in the way and cause any sort of distractions or anything like that. I just wanted to go in, um, stay out of the big guy's way, and um, go from there. And then the game started, and it was just I felt like I was hitting everything that was thrown. Lefty, righty, knuckleballers, it didn't matter. I was um, hitting everything, and I think that spring I hit over 400 and played really good defense. And obviously, your first thought is when you know you're having a good a good spring, and all the reporters and stuff are talking to you, and you don't know where you're standing with making the team and things like that. So I was just like, I'm just playing, and whatever happens happens. And
Right.
obviously this is where I want to be. This is kind of what I've always wanted to do. So just gonna keep doing it, and whatever happens happens. And felt like the longest spring training of my life. I was like, at some point I can't hit 400, but
Right.
I kept hitting and kept hitting. And then I played some games at second. I played some games at third, and things like that. And um, let's see, two days before, yeah, 2 days before spring, it was like a weird year. So um, AAA team left on like a Wednesday, and the big league team was supposed to leave on, say, Saturday. Um, it was like Thursday at the time. So I'm like, well, AAA team's gone. There's a few of us that are going to be either on the team or in AAA. We're still here. Like, so now I'm like, my brain's racing. Like, am I on the team? Am I not on the team? And
Right.
I'm sitting in the eating room, and I'm just eating breakfast. And Girardi comes up to me, and he taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Hey, you're coming with us to Philadelphia." And then I'm like, "All right, sweet." And then I'm just thinking in my head, uh, I think everyone's going to Philadelphia because Lehigh opens in Lehigh, and they got to fly into Philadelphia as well. So um, I'm like, did I make the team or?
Can someone just
And
tell me,
then
please?
and then he grabs me again. He goes, "But we can't say anything." So I'm like, can I call my parents? And he's like, yes, of course. Um, so then that's when I found out that I made the team, and
Awesome.
um, called my parents, and they were emotional as you can imagine. And then
Sure.
I saw Bryce in the weight room, and he gave me a hug and just said congrats, and how proud he was, and things like that. And then I got all the congratulations from the rest of the guys, and once everybody kind of started finding out, and um, yeah, I played third base. So third base a couple times, and then opening day came. So
So I hate to sort of rush through the 2022 season, your rookie year, but did it feel like a blur during that regular season? If I remember correctly, and I don't have it in front of me, but unlike this past year where the Phillies, you won the division and you won the division pretty comfortably. In 2022, you guys were one of the wild cards, I believe, and I think you actually clinched postseason like either last day or day before the regular season. Like, was that a blur that whole time, or did it feel like it was a really long time, that regular season leading up to that? Like, what was your, as you sort of look back now, what was your experience, if you can even put it into words, during that regular season heading into that first postseason as a rookie?
yeah, so it started, had a good opening day, went 2 for 4 with um, an RBI and a double, and kind of got all my firsts out of the way, besides the home run. Uh, did that, played a couple more games, and then it kind of got into the we kind of have too many infielders on the roster, and couldn't kind of fit everyone in, and um, then I got sent down for 6 7 days, I believe. Then Didi got hurt, and I got called back up, and um, kept going, kept playing, got better as the year went on, and had a really good second half, and then kind of winding down, it got into playoff mode. We Every game mattered, and then we go to Houston. We It was like we had to win or Milwaukee had to lose, and Nola was like perfect through 6 2/3, and Kyle led off the game with a home run. Um, then I hit a home run, and then Kyle hit another home run. We won 3-0, and um, clinched in Houston the the first game of the last series. So um, everyone kind of got the day off the next day, and then even the next day, it was more people got days off. Um, yeah, and it was first time in 10, 11 years that the Phillies made the playoffs, and
Right.
um, it was just crazy. Everything in Philadelphia was red, and
Yes.
um, all we heard about was how cool Red October was and how they haven't
Yep.
had it in a long time. So we were
Mm-hmm.
really excited, obviously, to make the playoffs, but to do it there where it's a giant sports town, and
Yeah.
just to kind of see the city turn from green to red was awesome. And um, then we go to St. Louis, play 2 hard fought games there, and win those. And then
One of the
uh,
great comebacks, by the way, like it kind of gets lost, right? But that game one, correct me if I'm wrong, but game one of that series, you guys were down by a couple of runs, I think in the ninth inning, right?
ninth inning,
And
yeah.
and you had one of the great comebacks in a single game ever, and absolutely completely took the life out of that Cardinals team. Like, that was
Yeah, it
a
was. I mean, I
amazing
never
game.
seen someone get so happy and clap when they get hit with 100. But yeah, Bohm got hit with 100, and then Segi hit a ball off that was going to bounce through the hole, and I think I hit a ball down the line that Goldschmidt dove for and tried to throw it home, and Sosa was safe, and
Yep.
it just kind of felt like everything that could possibly go right was going right,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, won that, and then obviously we were super excited to get game one, and then game two, Bryce hit a ball, I don't know, 500 feet, it felt
Right.
like. And
Right.
that kind of jolted us even more, and was able to close that one out in two, which is huge, just lining up pitching and things like that. And then we got to play the Braves, and Obviously, everyone knows how good they are,
And
and
they were the defending champs at the time too, right? Like they were
yeah,
looking for their second in a row.
yeah, I mean, they're super good, and just the names up and down the lineup, and
Right.
um, obviously, just being in our division and being rivals for so long, we knew it was going to be
Right.
um, a crazy time, and took game one there, and that was kind of our whole thing, was to split on the road and win it at home, and um, got game one, lost game two. Then we got to Philadelphia finally, and um, whoa, yeah, it
That was
was
I was there. That was
it was
unbelievable. Yeah.
that was the craziest atmosphere that ever been in, played in, and they. I mean, it helps when there's 45, 47,000 people yelling at the other team, and um, how much it helped us, and how much adrenaline and um, just excitement that we had, and just um, helped. And I mean, guys were hitting homers like every other pitch, it felt like, um, and then to take them out, and move on, and then play the Padres. Same thing, go to San Diego, take game one, lose game two, then we got to come back home and um, play three there. And it was felt like each series the place got crazier and crazier and crazier. And um, yeah, then the World Series took game one. We were like, money, same.
Right.
First first three series did the same thing.
Right.
Um, then we got back home, and it didn't go as planned, but um, that was crazy year, unforgettable year, and it kind of brought the Phillies back to
Absolutely.
being relevant in baseball and in Philadelphia. And um, now we did that in 22. It was more of an expectation in 23
Sure.
and onward. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good run, and um, obviously didn't end how we wanted it to, but um, yeah, it did a lot of good things, I think.
And I'm sure I live in the greater Philadelphia area. And I was privileged and thrilled to be able to go to all of those Phillies home playoff games in 2022 and in 2023. And there's been plenty of places I haven't been. I've been to a half a dozen MLB stadiums for playoff games, and I'm not just saying this because you're on here. I'm not saying it for any other reason other than it's the truth. Citizens Bank Park in 22 and 23 and 24 was as electric of an environment as I've ever seen for a playoff game. And I've been in some places. I've been in Fenway, which is pretty intense. I've been in Yankee Stadium, which is pretty intense. But Citizens Bank. But let me tell you this, Bryson. I'll let you go in a couple of minutes. But I had to ask you. I know you've probably been asked this question 10,000 times. But one of the things that I take away the most, one of my best memories from the 2022 and 2023 postseasons in particular, and please forgive me, right? But when you walk up to the plate, the entire stadium is singing in unison, "Living in this great big world, my head in outer space. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK. I know I'll be A-O-A-OK." The entire stadium at the top of their lungs is singing your walk up song. First of all, how did you pick that song? And second of all, did you know or did you have a feeling that that was going to be a thing? Because I'm telling you, that was a thing, and it still is a thing to this day.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Very appreciative of the fans and the people for doing that. I never in a million years thought I would pick a song that stuck like that, but I had it in the minor leagues, and obviously there's not as many people, and nobody really um, they weren't singing it in the minor leagues. So I was like, I don't know, I just like the song. I think it's cool. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we're just giant kids playing a kids game, and I was like, I don't know, this song's fun, and uh, picked it. And yeah, and then through 22, it was kind of like hear it being hear them singing it a little bit during the regular season.
Right.
Um, just people kind of telling me, "Oh, this song's awesome!" Like I was like, "Yeah, cool. I don't know, I like the song too, so I'm glad you like it." So I was like, "This is cool." And then the playoffs started, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this is something else." And I get DMs and tweets and things like that all the time saying you can't change your song. It's
Right.
part of you now. I'm
Right.
sorry if you ever want to change it, you can't. And um, I know it's probably not the best song and things aren't going our way, and people probably want to just cover their ears. But when everyone's singing it, and um, obviously my best memory of it is the grand slam against the
Yes.
Marlins, and
Absolutely.
um,
Yes. Huge moment. Amazing
I mean I
moment.
was able to kind of, I don't know how to say it, like take it all in. Because I did a mound visit and I was like, oh, this is sick. Like,
Yeah, because
sick.
when you get to keep on going, because when the song stops, everyone keeps on singing it anyway,
Yeah.
right? Like people just keep on going. So the
So they were
longer the
singing
song
it at
actually plays,
first.
yeah,
Yeah, they were singing it first. They had the mound visit. So then they changed the song to whatever they do with mound visits. And then um as the pitching coach was leaving the mound, they played it again. So like just that length of time. Now with the pitch clock, you can't really
right,
sit around and do all your stuff so you could hear your own song. But
right,
um, so as he was leaving, they played it again, so it ran longer than normal, and then um, they cut it off right at a part where it says "A OK," and
right.
um, that's kind of all I remember from that little part of time was hearing that, and then the pitch was coming, and I hit it, and I don't know, it was just blackout from there, and then
Yeah.
I go to my phone after the game, and
Oof.
um, wasn't really working. I got so many texts and DMs and just crazy support from everybody. And it took me a couple days to finally go on Twitter, and um, I finally saw the video that everyone kept talking about with the no broadcasters. It was
Yes, yes. Just the sound of the
just the
stadium.
stadium.
It's
Yeah, and
amazing.
I was like, would get chills watching it.
Yes.
I still do, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was really cool, and I'm very fortunate and appreciative of the fans in the city doing that. So
I mean, I was one of those fans just singing at the top of my lungs because it's such a great song and it fits everything so well. So I love that you hear the fans. Like I
yeah,
know you got to be locked in because you're facing a
yeah,
101-mile-an-hour fastball, but just knowing that you hear it, even just somehow you sense it, that's awesome. That really is.
yeah. Can't not hear it. So
All right, last thing, and I have 100 more things to ask you, but I got to let you get out of here. So you know, we're talking about how the intense the atmosphere. I would imagine you have a pretty good sense of why Philadelphia sports fans are how they are, and how they are is passionate because most Philadelphia area fans are multi generational and have been fans, because their parents were fans and their grandparents were fans and so on. And the Phillies have been around for over 100 years. The Eagles have been around for almost 100 years. Right, the Sixers are from the over 50 years. The Flyers, but relatively speaking, there aren't that many championships in a city that has basically been a major league city in all of the sports for as long as they've been major leagues. I know you get a sense of it, but like, do you guys sort of understand that a lot of the passion comes from just a deep yearning for their team to win a championship, right? Like, do you sense that yearning? Do you feel that? Do the fans express that in a ways that you guys can sort of understand? Because look, you're a 20-something-year-old guy from Vegas, right? Like, and Vegas and Philadelphia are very different. But you've been now here for 3+ years in Philly. Like, do you get the sense of where all of that passion comes from the fans who are just so desperate to see you guys win the World Series?
yeah. I mean, like you said, being from Las Vegas and not having a team here, it was kind of pick who you wanted to like, and
Right.
um, you could. I mean, people say, "Oh, I'm a super fan of this team, and it's like, how are you a super fan when you live in
Right.
Las Vegas? You just watch the game on TV and um, things like that. So growing up in Vegas, I was like, there's not people that actually like get their whole week ruined over a loss, right? And then
Ooh, boy.
um, I I'm like, I never happened to me. I don't care. I live in Las Vegas. The teams I like it aren't here. And
Right.
um, then we got the Knights
Mhm.
as the first team, and just kind of seeing how everybody kind of flocked to that and loved that. And obviously the timing of them coming after the shooting on October 1st, and um, just the kind of timing of everything, them being super good, them making a run to the Stanley Cup in their
Right.
first year, and um, just kind of seeing how they brought Las Vegas together. And obviously, it's hot here 10 months out of the year, and
Yeah.
we're like hockey team, like what? The ice is going to melt inside the arena. But
Right.
um, now there's some diehard Knights fans, and um, one loss can ruin someone's week, and obviously ruin someone's day, and things like that. So I was like, this was before I got drafted and even knew anything about Philadelphia and things like that. So I was like kind of getting there. I'm a huge Knights fan, and um, watch as many games as I can. It's harder on the East Coast because they're at 10:30 at night, and I'm
Yep.
trying to go to sleep. But
Exactly.
yeah, so I'm a big Knights fan now, and I kind of understood what was going on. And then I got drafted, and obviously you hear about Philadelphia and how the fans are and things like that. And um, I think people looking from the outside would be like, well, they're kind of rude. Like, why are they doing that to their own team and things like that? But um, once you're a player and you're in Philadelphia and you're around them and um, things like that, I think they're great. You see fans out and about. They just tell you thank you and
Mm-hmm.
good luck, and it's just all appreciative, and um, how much we mean to them and how much they mean to us. It's awesome, and um, obviously, they let us hear it when we're not playing well, and obviously we're like, yeah, we understand we're
Mm-hmm.
not playing very good. We're supposed to be um, the best team in the league, and we're not playing like that, and they're going to let us know. And um, obviously, it takes certain type of people to play here in Philadelphia, and um, you listen to them, you understand their frustration, and you're like, yeah, we're playing terrible. I would boo myself too. So but then you hit a home run, and it's like they're the happiest people in the world for you. And um, I mean, obviously, you want to play in a place that shows up every night, that lets you know, good or bad, if how it's going. And um, you'd rather play in front of that than play in front of nobody in the stadium. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, we understand. We're trying, and uh, we can't thank the fans enough for how much they support us, and how many games they were selling out during the regular season. And um, Wednesday in June, or a playoff game, it was packed and loud. And um, we want to win, and we want to win a World Series just as bad as they do. And I think that's what's going to make it all the more special when we get there, and do that, is how much we want it, how much they want it. And um, they support us through the good and the bad. And like I said, we can't thank them enough. And love playing at home, love playing in front of them. And um, just like a giant 47,000 seat house where we're all together. And um, yeah, it's just one big city, one big team, and we love it. So
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Bryson, for being with us. I kept you a little long. My apologies, but really
all
appreciate you
good.
joining us. This has been a lot of fun. We're big fans of yours. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have a very restful and successful off season. Have a great holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you tear it up again next year because the Phillies are going to be good. You know the Braves are going to be good. You know the Mets are going to be good, and then you got the Marlins and the Nationals. You know, just hanging around. Like before you know it, you're going to be battling those guys and everybody else in the National League just once again, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see. And we're gonna be rooting for you every step of the way. So thank you so much for joining us on behalf of everybody at Out of the Park Baseball. Thank you. We appreciate it, and we wish you all the success in the world. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, so there you have it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. That was a lot of fun. Thank you. Obviously, Bryson Stott told you he was good. He's good. Why is my hat all messed up? Bryson is fantastic. Cannot thank him enough. Thank his reps. Thank MLB. We thank MLBPA, One Team, all of our partners, and of course, you guys at the very top of the list because we would not be here without you. I will say it again because I mean it. We do not take this for granted. This is the toughest industry I've ever worked in, and I've worked in a few, and every day seems like it's a little tougher than the day before it. You guys pay attention to the news, you know what I'm talking about. This is it's a tough way to make a living, and we don't take it for granted. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our community, the best community in video games. You guys make this possible. We do our absolute best to deliver the best game to you and the best experience. And we thank you so much for your support over the years. All right. I am going to try to raid Dr. Dynastic. So give this old man a minute or two to figure out if he can do that. I'm going to try to do it. Dr. D, I hope you're live. I think you are. And we'll give that a go. And once again, I just want to thank everybody so much for being here. You're the best. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon. And thank you, Bryson, as well.